Greetings, I'm Chevalier, and a big welcome to Situation and Guide of Milan. It's the part 2 of the guide, the expansion guide of Milan. Let's just dive into it. Milan, as you can see here, is part of the HRE, and that means that they're gonna be hard pressed to expand. Your first target of attack should be Brescia. As you can see here, you have a core on Brescia, which you should take quite fast. They have 20 development, so quite nice. Brescia has 20 development, and that should be your first target. For your first allies, it should be Hungary against Venice there. At the same time, it's possible to get an alliance with Austria and any other Venetian enemies. Next on your conquest list, I would recommend that should be Genoa, Mantua, or Ferrara. Whatever floats your boat. As you can see right now, I actually have rivaled Mantua, so probably just attack Mantua, take Mantua from them, then switch over to Genoa. Now, the reason I'm telling that Genoa is the more important target is simply because you want to move into Provence as well, so you can move into Aragon, but we'll talk about this a little bit later. So, first attack, first war, probably will take you 4 to 5 years, perhaps depending on your luck, to fight off Venice, to take Brescia, and then feed perhaps Istria to Hungary or even Dalmatia. Although Dalmatia, you should keep it for yourself, if at all possible, to take in a second war, so you can actually move into Bosnia or in the Balkans, the Ottomans as well, and take on that side there. So, Venice, take Brescia, followed by an attack against Mantua. After you've taken Mantua, it should take you a couple of years as well, depending on who actually allies Mantua. It is possible for them to ally the Papal State, ally Florence, ally Savoy as well. Depends on who they actually rivaled. So they actually rivaled Ferrara, Milan, and Lucca. So which means that they're gonna ally your enemies, which means that they might ally either Venice or ally Switzerland, ally Ferrara, perhaps one of those options. So attack Mantua. Followed by that, attack Genoa. After you have taken Genoa, just take the capital of Genoa so you can actually fabricate claims on Provence. Now, this should give you a decent amount of a coalition, aggressive expansion basically. What this means is that you should stop expanding into the HRE for a while. Remember that these stations are 20 development, 22 development, and 25 development, which is quite a bit of development, which is going to be quite annoying. So, this is the reason that we're focusing on Provence, so that you can actually spread that aggressive expansion to another side. From Provence, I recommend taking Dragunan and Provence, their capital, simply because you want to gain CPs against Aragon, basically. Gaining CPs against Aragon will allow you to attack Aragon with the help of Castile, then attack Castile so you can move into a new world, but we'll talk about this on a step-by-step basis. Well, after you've taken the lands from Provence, core them, then try to get an alliance with Castile or any other Aragonese enemies, whether it's Castile, Hungary, whatever is possible. Remember that in order to move against Aragon, you're gonna need to have alliances with at least one guy, and a big guy at that. Perhaps France. Yeah, France is doable as well, because they want lands from Aragon, so you can attack with the help of France to attack Aragon, because they want lands from Aragon, so you can give them Pino, for example. That means that you'll actually have to prioritize the alliance with France rather than Austria there, which is gonna give you a little bit more problems with taking lands from these guys here. A little bit of problems, but still manageable if you know how to play the game to some degree. You'll never play as a small nation as Milan when you're starting out the game. It's suicide basically. So take these lands here, then prepare the war against Aragon. If at all possible and you have the requirements and the allies, declare war on Aragon and take lands from Aragon. Now from Aragon here, I recommend taking the Bolneras and Alicante. What this will allow you, if it's possible for you to take the Bolneras, what this will allow you is simply to take to attack Castile and take lands from Castile. If at all possible, and if you're lucky enough, France might actually rival Castile. If at all possible. If at all possible, I'll underline that. If at all possible, and you're gonna use their help to attack Castile. The second option is for you not to rival Aragon and simply take Alicante and try to ally Aragon. That will mean that you'll ally Aragon, and even if they have one of your cores, if you have the same enemies and you haven't rivaled them and they haven't rivaled you, it's possible to get that alliance. It's gonna be troublesome, but it's doable. With a decent amount of diplomatic reputation, it should be doable. So, with this focus here on this line, let's say up to the war with Provence should take you about 50 to 20 years. Something on that side, 50 to 30 years. And if you want to fight against Aragon and then fight again against France, against Castile, if at all possible, should take you for the next, I'll say 40 years. Although this is one-minded and not one-minded, it's on rails basically. It will allow you to gain access to the New World quite fast, which will allow you to either go for the first idea with exploration ideas, or go with the second idea exploration if you want to go for a first military idea, or a first admin idea if you want to go, if you're that risky or that stupid. Although it's doable for you to go for exploration first, expansion first. But yeah, this is more talk about the late game, or how you want to play on not late game, on the idea side, or how you want to play it. But I totally recommend going either for a military idea first, going for influence, or just saving an idea slot so you can get exploration. It's up to you how you want to pull it off. So, if this is possible and you have the requirements in allies, just go like this. And let's say that is possible, because you can ally France. France might ally both, my rival both Aragon and Castile, so it's doable. Or they might want lands from Castile as well, which especially if you actually give them Pirineo, for example, and Castile have taken Navarra, is doable to actually have France join you against Castile, or just ally Aragon. So let's say this is doable. It's going to take you 40 years. Well, this means that you're probably going to hit here. They hit the Barniers, I always forget his name here, the Canaries, and then move into a new world. Expansion into a new world should be done by my guide, the path of expansion, the path of colonization and expansion. It's quite a nice guide that will help you expand quite fast. It's not that excellent, but it's not that excellent. It's not that stratified, but it's gonna show you my view on expansion onto a new world. Now, once you have done this and you have the right pathway into a new world, it's time for you to focus back on Italy. Take Verona, take Firenze, take Modena, take Siena, take Roma, take Ancona as well. This allows you to form Italy, and overall that will mean that you can form Italy, Mantua, Verona, Firenze, Siena, Roma, Ancona, Verona as well, and Genoa. Right, you already have Milan. That will allow you to form Italy, and you're gonna get the CBs. Then you can actually expand into this guy some more. Now, in the meantime, if at all possible, and if you have the downtime between the wars with Aragon and Castile, try to take Verona. And once you have taken Verona, try to take Dalmatia as well with the CB. That will allow you to expand into the Balkans, and that's gonna be your tertiary war goal against the Balkans. By now, let's say that you have taken the Aragon lands here, Alicante, moving to Castile, and you have taken most of the required lands for you to form the Italy, except for example Roma or Ancona. Right, so except these two lands of Roma and Ancona, and you've expanded into the Balkans and are preparing to fight against the Ottomans with help from Austria. Now, another key event here is the Burgundian inheritance. If at all possible, become the HRE Emperor and have the Burgundian inheritance fire on your side, which will allow you to gain a decent amount of cash, this amount of lands, this amount of cash, this amount of troops, and at the same time have the force limit and the manpower per month, simply due to the modifiers from being the HRE Emperor. This is a secondary objective and should be done by allying Bohemia and Saxony. These two nations should help you, and perhaps Trier or Cologne, whoever wants to ally you. But you can see here, most of these nations want to ally you. At the same time, remember that you have 5 D+ slots, because you are Milan and you have 5 D+ slots. You can have 6 D+ slots if you are the HRE Emperor, so it can allow you to have more allies and more vassals if you want to go for the vassalization route, but usually you should not go for the vassalization route with Milan, simply because you're not gonna have enough troops to feed and you want to move on to this side quite easy, and not quite easy, quite fast with the coring process and not the integration process. So let's do a small recap for the early game. Let's say the first 50 years until the 1500s. So this is the best scenario. You attack Venice, you take Brescia. You attack Mantua, you attack Genoa. You take Mantua, you take Genoa. You attack Provence, take the capital, take Draguignan. Fabricate claims on Aragon. Attack Aragon, take Alicante. Hopefully France will ally you and will help you fight against Aragon. If it's all possible and you have another ally, attack Castile as well. Once you have taken Castile, take the Canaries and prepare yourself to move against the New World and conquer the New World. At the same time, keep an eye on attacking these guys so you can actually weaken them. This whole attack should take you about 40 years if lucky. Now, if this isn't doable, go for plan B. The same goes for Venice, Mantua, Genoa, Provence. If you don't have a possible ally to attack Aragon, ally Castile and attack Aragon. So attacking Aragon is still possible. But if you cannot attack the Castile, not the Castile, if you cannot attack Castile, just bide your time until you have a proper good ally for you to attack Castile. But Aragon is still attackable and you can take lands from them. So take Alicante, and that will be the first conquest. Followed by that, attack Verona, and then attack Ferrara, take Modena, attack Firenze, attack Siena. Now, here is the problematic part. The HRE, so this is the early game basically. This is the first 50 years. This is the set of expansion and how you should expand, set of expansion moves. The problematic part here is that you should try to keep the Italian states part of the HRE. So a secondary or tertiary expansion should be into Friuli, Treviso, Verona, Romagna, Urbino, Ancona, Umbria, and Roma. If you want to rush this, it's fine. You'll be able to have them be part of the HRE because they are cores, as well as be able to form Italy. You're gonna have the prerequisite lands to form Italy because you have Romana, Ancona, and Verona as well, which is the later part of forming Italy, especially Roma. But remember, if you go for this, you're gonna suffer this modifier here, which is called the occupation of Rome, or the subjugation of the papacy, which most likely will be occupation of Rome, which is gonna give you diplomatic reputation -1 and papal influence -10. So be wary that if you want to have the HRE basically exist, Italy be part of the HRE, you'll actually have to risk this. You actually have to risk this, unfortunately, and you're gonna have to take the modifier. This should be your tertiary war goal. Remember that this event fires past the 1490s, which is gonna be not that tight if you want to focus on it, but if you focus on it, you're gonna lose the chance to fight against Castile there, if at all possible. That's why it's a secondary or tertiary war goal. So this is the early game. Let's go into the mid game. So let's go for the best option here. In the mid game, you are the HRE Emperor. You have taken lands from Aragon, taken lands from Castile, taken the Canaries, and you have expanded into a new world, and you have a decent amount of power into the new world, which is quite good. At the same time, you have the lands required to form the HRE, to form Italy, and as well you have Italy remaining in the HRE. At the same time, I said before, we are the HRE Emperor. Now, expansion into the next phase. Keep on fighting against Venice. You should have probably taken Dalmatia by now, then slowly expand into the Balkans with Cibiz and prepare to fight the Ottomans. Fighting the Ottomans, just simply raise Byzantium and switch them to Catholic if you want to, or keep them Orthodox, although it's better to switch them to Catholic because they have the, the missionary strength there, which is going to help you core some lands, which is quite nice. And fighting the Ottomans piece by piece will take you years and years of fighting, so it's gonna probably go into the late game because you don't have that much troops, and with the truce timers of 15 years, it's gonna be quite problematic. And slowly expand into the Ottomans. Next off, just fight off against Naples and Aragon, and keep on conquering lands from them, from Castile, from Portugal, and simply go for a control of the Mediterranean region. as well as try to take full control over the Venice trade node and the Genoa trade node as much as possible from these two trade nodes, and they should be your top priority. Simply because you want to collect with one guy here and collect with one merchant there and have your collecting trade node in Genoa. At the same time, if you really want to be cheeky, you can try to collect in all of the end trade nodes. If you are the HRE Emperor and the Bulgarian Inheritance Third, you can collect into the English channel as well. Now, if the HRE event the Bulgarian Inheritance Third, you should try to slowly expand into England and expand into France. Although focusing yourself and tank yourself against these guys, against multiple war fronts, is gonna be really tricky. If you see it from my point of view, if you want to fight against both England, France, Castile, Aragon, you're gonna be left with no allies. So what I recommend is allying Poland. Poland is gonna have Lithuania as a PU, and it's gonna be the the elected monarchy, which is gonna allow you to perhaps insert your own dynasty into their monarchy, which is gonna allow you to make a PU with Poland once they switch their government from elected monarchy to kingdom again. Which is gonna allow you to get a PU over Poland and Lithuania, or the Commonwealth if it's formed, which is gonna allow you to gain a decent amount of land for free. This is the standard Poland expansion. And yeah, this is the mid game. As you can probably see, the mid game is a bit more vague, simply because there are no ways to predict where it's gonna go. I mean, if you're on the HRE Emperor, you're not gonna get a Bulgarian Inheritance, most likely. You're not gonna get a Bulgarian Inheritance. If Austria is lucky, it's gonna get a Bulgarian Inheritance really fast. It's gonna really cripple you, and it's gonna really stop you from expanding into this region here, and you're gonna have to fight a trench warfare against France to expand into France, which is not gonna allow you to do this. So you'll have to focus on the Mediterranean part against Castile, Aragon, Naples, and the Ottomans. So you're gonna have to focus on the south side of things and the New World. If it is done, you can also expand to England. So again, more variables. The smaller you are, the more variables you have, and the more time passes, the more variables. Even a simple fight that you lose, for example, you lose a fight against Venice, and you lose I don't know, 4k manpower. I mean, that 4k manpower is gonna be huge. It's gonna be a huge loss there, especially because you're a small nation at the early game. So yeah, try to be careful and try to have as less mistakes as possible. I can only give you show you the way, but I'm showing you it's a dotted line. No, not a dotted line. Let's say it's I point you into one direction. You choose the roads, basically. That is the best option the best anecdote that I can choose. But yeah, I'm Chevalier. Hope you enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this, comment, like, and subscribe. Remember, I like feedback, so any sort of feedback that you want to give me, just put in the comments. See you next time.